Hi, everybody. Today is June 20th. It's the summer solstice 2024. And I just wanted to hop on here real quick. In terms of our 5D transitioning and our huge shift, if you don't want to call it 5D, you can call it whatever you want. Lots of changes happening, lots of energies on the planet, and lots of shifting. Okay, so the message here is what do we do about the roller coaster? Oh my goodness. Since the eclipse in April, beginning of April, we have had so many changes, and we're all trying to help each other through this, and we're all feeling like we're going a little nuts. And I don't know if any of us expected it to be so roller coaster or roller coastery, or the other thing would be to say sort of like water, rapids crashing against the rocks, and you just got to keep going. Or, maybe it's like the bull in the china shop effect. It's been stuff smacking into other stuff and hitting up against other stuff, right? And people's stuff hitting up against other people's stuff. And so that's an interesting one too, because there's been so many like changes in friendships, breakups, maybe divorces, job changes, change of address, like so much of that too, like sudden change in the way of maybe we kind of thought after the eclipse and when we were getting a grip on how to use these new energies and forces, we started to feel really light. We started to feel exhilarated. We started to feel so zingy. And I know I took for granted, I did not think that things were going to be clashing into each other, especially in the month of June. There's just been so much. It's been a lot of like super ups or super downs or accidents that actually taught us a lesson that we needed to learn, and we went through it in a way that was like seeing the benefit the whole time. Some of us that thought that we were like above and beyond, maybe I got a cold virus. I thought I was above and beyond some of the things that happened to me in June. In terms of what I thought my health was great, my immunity must be awesome. I'm doing very well. And it has been challenging, right? So I just want to get on here and say that if I think a lot of us actually are experiencing that, because I'm talking with, colleagues and clients and friends and everybody about this, right? And it does seem like it's been that way for a lot of us. And again, if you're a counselor, a therapist, or a teacher, or a healer, somebody that's kind of used to playing the role of being the guide, our people right now are really getting shook up a lot. And so if that's happening to you, or you see somebody around you that it's happening to them and you're like, this is just crazy. Like, is this person okay? Or am I okay? Everybody's okay. This is a part of the shift. And of course, from the very beginning, and if you listen to other intuitives or people who read astrology or authors or, inspirational speakers and people that are tapped into these new energies, everybody's kind of saying the same thing. We never know what to expect, and we all have to help each other through this. Truly, we are one. We are all moving through this together, right? It's a whole humanity moving through an elevation of consciousness. And we that do a lot of meditating or guiding or interacting with other forces, or, astrologers, wow, they just know so much. I'm not one, but I do listen to them, and wow, it's a science. And all of these things that we're tapped into, some of us and a lot of these other people older than me and for longer than me are professionals, in the metaphysical or esoteric or other dimensional studies. And guess what? We're all struggling right now. We are all kind of like feeling, it's like there's some low energies. We're getting kind of attacked. There might be some spiritual warfare coming at us from people that we thought were on our same side, and they certainly are. And that's another message. They certainly are. Light workers going up against light workers. It is really a shame, but that has happened quite a bit in the last couple of months, where it's not like both people aren't on the same trajectory and trying to get through the shift. But what is happening is that there's some heavy energies coming down on us. And a lot of times there's ego energies that caught us by surprise. Like, oh, I thought I worked through that. Or I thought, oh, my dark side is coming up now. And which that had happened to me quite a bit through the month of June, last 3 weeks. Like a lot of my little dark archetypes came up, and just I've been sassing off with my mouth and not being the nicest person, but I know that my intentions are pure and I'm definitely working toward love and light and a better humanity. But like, what's going on? So there's not much of a message in this video except to say that if you're feeling like that and you're sort of battling with your dark side or dark sides of other friends that you hadn't seen their dark side before, or maybe it's your partner, your spouse, maybe it's one of your children, maybe it's a different relative, maybe it's a coworker, and you're like, wow, that person just seems like so nice and love and light all the time and peace and love and unicorns, and all of a sudden they're like really have become like they made this off-putting cutthroat comment and it was an insult, they didn't even apologize, and like, what is going on with people, that kind of stuff, right? It's that kind of energy that has come crashing in. And so when you're trying to get on your exhilaration ride, right, your 5D mode, and you're just feeling so free and you're flying high, and then all this stuff starts to crash into you, you will start questioning yourself and your abilities and your decisions. And don't worry about that right now. Every single one of us is probably questioning ourselves right now that is tuned into this transition. So it's okay. Everybody, let's just forgive ourselves. Forgive yourself for whatever it was. Forgive yourself, but do move on and make the changes. Don't keep repeating the same, like I forgave myself, but then I didn't do anything to make it better or to redeem myself or to make a change, or, you definitely are going to want to forgive yourself, but then let's all just get right back into, okay, we're starting to shift. We're starting to go to the new humanity, the new human, the new earth, where we're all more benevolent, right? We're lighter. We can use more senses than just our 5 senses plus our intuition, which is our 6th sense. We have access to other dimensional stuff now, right? So it's going to be really fun on planet Earth. We're still going there. We are shifting. It's all about love. And so don't get discouraged and don't get so distracted, because this 3D stuff coming clashing in and our egos and our dark energies, yeah, it's very distracting, but don't get so distracted that we forget the main point of being here during this time is to help each other shift into a better humanity. And sometimes looking at our dark side and having these experiences is helpful. And this time in the month of June, all the accidents and unexpected and sudden change, or maybe breakups or truth revealed and they weren't what you wanted to see, all of those things are okay. It's a part of it. And it's always surprising because we don't know. So I know myself, I was not expecting for things to get difficult this summer at all. I was just expecting to sail through summer and into the end of the year and just keep on going. So now it's June 27th. So 7 days later, I'm editing now and just putting in this quick 7-minute video that I did about clashing and the roller coaster effect and the bumps and bruises coming out in the last 3 weeks of June. And now it's the 27th. It's almost the end of June. And I'm just jumping in at the end of the video to close it out, but to also say that I felt like the last 10 days maybe, or 2 weeks maybe, that I've been in 4D. I know I've been talking about this 5D transition, and so we're in the 3-dimensional world. We sort of skip through the 4th dimensional stuff to go right to the very expansive 5th dimensional stuff, where we have the energies that we can work with and extra senses and all of what we're learning in this shift. And the shift seemed to just go from 3D right past 4D to 5D. So I feel like maybe the last 10 days or 2 weeks personally, instead of me being sucked all the way back into 3D from some of the weird stuff that's happened, the lessons that have happened, because everything weird or perceptually bad that has happened in the last couple weeks for me have been hugely important, beneficial lessons. Hopefully some of you have gone through that too. And what that did for me is it made me hang back. I wasn't in the 5D exhilaration, expansive, higher consciousness, quick energy, zingy. I call it zingy. I wasn't in that during all of like the cold, and I like little fender, bender that I had, and different little things popping up, and a lot of not convenient things and things that I didn't want to deal with, and things that had to be dealt with, right? And some dark side things.
that whole time, it didn't drag me back into 3D either. It was stuff that normally would have definitely made me at least downward spiral till I got to the 3D world and grr, grr, grr. And I did a little of that. I handled some situations very 3D and not well. But for the most part, the past couple weeks, as I've been not completely back into 5D until recently, I think I hung out in 4D, and I'm just sharing the experience, letting you guys know that if you felt similar, it was sort of like, no, I didn't get dragged. Maybe you did the same thing. You didn't get dragged all the way back down into the density or the negativity, the bad behaviors, or just even an anxiety or depression feeling or feeling of hopelessness, like perhaps you usually would. I didn't, but I was in limbo. I wasn't 5D either. I was just sort of learning the lessons and being very thankful for the lessons that were coming in and being very deliberate and sort of slow and steady wins the race instead of all the zingy fast fast. It was like, okay, I'm just absorbing. I'm absorbing what's coming in. And there's a lot of good stuff coming in the form of hard stuff. So that was all I wanted to say to close out the video. These have been my experiences more than messages. And hopefully that helped some of you. Okay, I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.